Yep, only football can be relevant year-round. We heard us talking a little bit earlier about the Utah football schedule, but now we are talking with KSL Sports BYU insider Mitch Harper. That means one thing. We are now talking about BYU's football schedule, and of course, the Big 12. They know how to stretch this out for a whole year. They released the schedule, and it's obviously a big talking point. So let's talk about what BYU's looking at as this 2024 season approaches. Still a few months away, but what's your first reactions when you see the schedule?
It's a tough schedule, Sam. I mean, this is a schedule for a BYU team that was 5-7 last year, and now they're going to try to navigate this slate with a bunch of teams that played in bowl games. BYU's got their hands full with this schedule, but I think that it's also set up with the home games that they could be a team that could get back to the postseason.
Okay, and then you know that's going to be a big goal, but I think one of the first things that stood out for a lot of fans here in this state was that rivalry date, Mitch, November 9th. Your thoughts?
I loved it. I thought it was unconventional. I thought it was outside the box. That's what the Big 12 needs. This is a league that wants to tell the story of this conference, and what better way to highlight BYU Utah than with 2 weeks? You know, if you're going to think conventionally and just go put it back on tradition, rivalry week, that doesn't work in the Big 12. To do the traditional doesn't work in this conference. BYU Utah with 2 weeks, the best rivalry in this conference. BYU and Utah will be great on November 9th. And I think no matter when this game is played, it's always good.
Yeah, you mentioned 2 weeks. They have that bye week the whole week before. So 2 weeks of rivalry talk. You know it's going to be hot here in our state on the KSL Sports Zone, on KSLSports.com, and here on KSL Sports Live. But what other matchups stand out as we're looking at the schedule? Obviously, Utah's going to be one of the first ones, but what else?
September 21st, Kansas State, the Big 12 home opener. BYU hosting Kansas State for the first time since '77, but this is a K-State team that has one of the most consistent programs. Chris Kleiman, head coach. Quarterback Avery Johnson is going to be one of the most dynamite quarterbacks in this conference this year. He's going to be really good. I think that's going to be one of the toughest tests. You look at teams that could maybe contend with Utah and Arizona for the Big 12. K-State's one of those teams.
Okay, so that's obviously the start of Big 12 play. Bowl eligibility, though, that's got to be a goal for BYU this year. Do you think they get there? And if so, at what point in the season does bowl eligibility become a target for BYU?
I think BYU does reach the postseason. It's going to be tough, and I think it might be that last game against Houston. You know, and I think that's one of the reasons the Big 12 put BYU and Houston on the final week, because it's two teams that could be 5-6 in the final week of the season, trying to win or go home. But I think BYU does get back. The defense is going to be so much better this year. Jay Hill did an outstanding job assembling a recruiting class that's the best in this state. I don't think people are giving enough credit to that. BYU is going to be a team that gets back to the postseason. It's going to take a while, but I think that final week they'll punch their ticket.
And that's a home game too, wrapping up the season at LaVell Edwards Stadium. That'll be huge for the Cougars. You're going to have a write-up about your predictions for this Cougar team coming out very soon at KSLSports.com. You can read all of Mitch Harper's BYU content there. You can listen to his podcast there, and of course, KSL Sports, Cougar Sports Saturday.
That's right.
Every Saturday on KSL News Radio as well. Mitch, thanks a lot for your time today.
You bet, Sam.